Sometimes in life, things don't go the way we want. We pray, we hope, and we wait, but nothing seems to change. In those moments, it's easy to feel abandoned, lost, and hopeless. We wonder why our efforts seem futile, why the universe seems silent, and why our dreams remain out of reach. But what if the challenges we face are not random misfortunes, but part of a greater plan? What if what seems like a disaster is actually leading us toward something better, something beyond our understanding? Let me share with you a story that beautifully illustrates this truth, a story of survival, faith, and the mysterious ways in which life unfolds. Once upon a time, there was a large ship sailing across the vast ocean. It was a magnificent vessel, carrying many passengers and crew, all bound for distant shores and new beginnings. But as fate would have it, the ship was caught in a violent storm. The sky darkened, the waves grew monstrous, and the wind howled like a wild beast. The storm raged with such fury that the ship was overwhelmed and sank beneath the churning sea. Tragically, everyone on board drowned along with the shipwrecks, for one man. By the will of the Almighty, this man miraculously survived. In an unconscious state, he was carried by the relentless waves and eventually washed up on the shore of a deserted island. When he regained consciousness, he found himself utterly alone, surrounded by endless miles of wilderness and ocean, with no sign of human life anywhere. Overwhelmed by despair, the man looked up at the vast sky and prayed with all his heart, "Oh my Lord, please help me. Send someone to rescue me." But the entire day passed, and no help came. Days turned into weeks, and the man's hope began to fade. He stopped praying because he had lost all faith that anyone would come for him. Yet, despite his despair, he was determined to survive. With great effort, he gathered branches and leaves to build a small shelter. He learned to pluck coconuts from the trees and started fishing to sustain himself. For nearly 20 days, he lived in solitude, battling hunger, loneliness, and the crushing weight of hopelessness. He had almost given up on being rescued. Then, one day, while he was out collecting coconuts, he returned to find his humble hut engulfed in flames, completely destroyed. Shocked and heartbroken, he looked up at the sky and cried out, "Oh God, I asked for your help, but you didn't answer me. You burned down the only shelter I had. Why, God, why are you so cruel?" He spent the entire night blaming God for his suffering, feeling abandoned and betrayed. Eventually, exhaustion overtook him, and he fell into a restless sleep. The next morning, he was awakened by a loud noise. Opening his eyes, he saw a large ship docked near the island. Overjoyed beyond words, he wasted no time and quickly boarded the vessel. Once aboard, he asked the captain, "How did you know I was stranded on this deserted island?" The captain replied, "We saw a signal fire rising from the island. We realized someone was here, so we came to rescue you." At that moment, the man remembered his burnt hut. He now understood that the fire the captain had seen was actually from the destruction of his shelter. What he had perceived as a cruel act was, in fact, a divine interventioner, part of a greater plan to get him off the island and back to safety. He realized that God's plan was far greater than his own limited understanding. Filled with gratitude and humility, he thanked God and sought forgiveness for his doubts and complaints. This story teaches us a profound lesson about faith and patience. In our own lives, when we face difficulties, our faith often weakens. We become impatient, frustrated, and begin to question the Almighty. We don't realize the intricate plans He has for us, plans that we cannot foresee or comprehend. God provides for all creatures in this world. He knows exactly what to give and when to give it. His wisdom surpasses our understanding, and His timing is perfect, even when it feels delayed or harsh. So, whenever your plans seem to fail, whenever things don't go your way, have faith in Him. Trust that He always has a plan for you. Before closing one door, He opens another. Never lose hope, for your breakthrough may be just around the corner. If this story touched your heart, share it with others, and leave a like to spread the message of hope and faith. Remember, sometimes the greatest strength lies in trusting the unseen and holding on when all seems lost.